The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and a upset 7-year-old.
Oh.
And you might be wondering why. Why, Jeff? Why is your son upset?
I can fill that part in. Jeff, why is your 7-year-old so upset, Jeff?
I'm glad you asked. Well, we had a little look at his birthday list. His upcoming birthday in April. And he really wants the old Mario game. So the old Mario game is the 3D collection that Nintendo's put out.
Mario 3D All-Stars, no?
3D All-Stars, yes. Awesome. Mario 3D All-Stars. So we had an experience with his birthdays in April. I mentioned that offhand joke that it is ending. The Nintendo is stopping the release of this game March 31st. And my son is now old enough to know time. And he...
time and space. He's
realizes this is not going to line up with his birthday wishes. So he gets all teary-eyed. And honest to God, I've never seen him be so caught up in a game like this, something that he kind of wants, and it won't be there for him. So he was getting really upset, and he's like, no, but I really want this game, and what is Nintendo going to do? Are they going to re-release it? And I'm just kind of like blown away, like, I've had this problem when I was younger with the Disney Vault, and
the Disney
movies.
Vault. That
you remember
nonsense.
That? You remember that?
Oh,
yeah.
It's like, we're all out of this video, so you better hurry. Make more.
You can't print anymore. Sorry.
It's done. Don't you own this? Yep. Don't you produce this en masse? We sure do. So what's the problem? It's going in the vault.
It's going away. Get it now.
Oh, it's just Jerry. Yeah. Jerry is super protective, and he closes the door, and no one else in the company has the key.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so if I can run that back, so Mario 3D All-Stars, Nintendo has put an artificial limit on this, because reminder that this is also a digital game that you can purchase and download to your Switch. So it is utterly artificial, but be that as it may, Nintendo has put a artificial limit on this game, ending this month, end of March, as we are recording this. Your son did the calculus to realize that does not align with his birthday, and it terribly upset him with the idea that, oh no, I'm going to miss the game that I want. Is that captures it?
That captures it. And my anger as a parent, a gaming dad, I'm going to write Nintendo a strongly worded letter, knowing that they caused these tears for my son and Mario Sunshine of him experiencing these games.
Now, are you actually going to write this?
You know what? I was kind of joking about it, but I actually might.
You should,
because you never know.
Should.
And I think a lot of gaming parents are probably in the same boat. Birthdays happen all throughout the year, Trevor. So for Nintendo to slap this on there, I think I should let them be aware of it. So
just to try to give them some feedback, it's like, this is really not... It's kind of cutesy if it was just a bunch of us older folks who enjoy games and the nostalgia pitch. Okay, but I mean, you are very much the family, the kid company, and you are upsetting some kids who might want this game and putting parents in some fairly bad situations as far as the secondary market, right?
Yeah, and when they have a whole market themselves of just dedicated remakes and remasters, Zelda, Skyward Sword later on, there's no time limit to any of those games, right? So to put like an artificial date on this and not say, hey, this is just a limited edition, maybe comes with extra stuff, and then after that it's just the regular edition. Yeah, that I think we're all used to.
Yeah,
my son is not used to any of this, so he's not used to expiry dates on this stuff. So it's a new thing, and again, with the week of everybody giving out free games, Microsoft's giving free games to Game Pass, and PlayStation's giving free games out, and Nintendo's sitting there just saying, hey, Mario is no longer coming to your console next week. So
this is your last chance to give us this money. You better hurry.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's the last chance thing is also, I mean, for myself, that's obviously tongue in cheek, but that is somewhat infuriating in so much as clearly at some point they're going to be sitting in the boardroom and it's like, well, we took this off the shelves. And if we, kind of go back on our word and release it now, it's been a year, we would make $100 million in a weekend. What should we do? The big corporation, I have a real hard time wondering if I should re-release it.
Yep, it's a hard call.
So it's, I think it's something that all gaming dads, I've never seen a lot of support for this idea. I don't think the gaming community reacted well to it.
No.
But it certainly puts in a different context to hear the actual in-home experience as far as kids, like what kind of is their core market in some ways, like some of their targets, especially for games like this, like these wonderful old titles. And this is how you're going to play it. You're going to affect youth like this? Come on.
Yeah, that's right. Right? Nintendo should be listening. Don't do this to Mario. Mario is your core asset here, and we should keep him free, flying free in the stars.
Hey,
so
don't do this to gaming dads and their kids, frankly.
That's right. So he, just between you and me, he will be getting the game. I will purchase it.
He could be listening.
But Nintendo doesn't know that.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah.
They forced my hand because I didn't want to make my kid cry. Anyway.
It's kind of a good thing you had that talk with him, because, if you had found out post the end of the month when it was gone, you would have been...
That's right.
You would have been paying triple prices to those scalpers we love so much.
I would have to be going on other sites trying to get a legit copy somewhere. I don't know.
Now that makes actually a great transition for our next story, where when we last left, I was on the fence about selling my Nintendo 64. So,
yes, you were.
So I had a bunch of games. I was actually surprised at the number of games I did have. I kind of forgot how many I had bothered to collect. I am talking GoldenEye, Mario, Zelda.
Oh, the goods.
It was a good stack. And we had done a poll, as I understand it, we reached out to gaming dads. I think we had Twitter and Instagram. Should Trevor sell his N64? What was the results?
Right. So I'm going to look it up here. Our poll that we ran, 83.3 repeating, you should keep it.
Oh, wow.
So 83% say you should keep your N64 for those memories. So
I sold it. Terribly sorry.
Yeah.
Terribly sorry, gaming dads. I honestly agree. As much as I'm the one who sold it, I made the decision, and I am happy with the decision. Like, we'll arrive there.
Right.
I agree with the poll. I would have voted the same, honestly, where it's such a nostalgia machine. It is such a great system. The games still hold up. There's no game you play on that is not just amazing and fun, right? And you think about passing them on to kids and everything else. I think, you look at that in its totality, the easy decision is to keep it. I think I still am happy with my decision to have sold it because I really was just carting it around. Any of the current homing situations we've had has not been congruent to having it just set up so it's super accessible and super quick to do so.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think about the pass off when he is a bit older, like when he is, he comes of like 10, 12, whatever. Is he really going to be over the moon as I would hope he would be? Is it really for me, or is it more for him? And I don't know your opinion on it. I just don't think, like, what would happen if you gave your kid like tomorrow an N64?
I don't think they'd be very well, okay. So I was going to say I don't think they'd be very happy. I know my older one. Well, see, again, okay, I'm going back and forth in my head. The games that they play.
Yeah.
The games that they play are Minecraft, and my son just wants the Mario collection, right? So I think they are into the retro games. But they don't really know that until they get in those games. These games, the mechanics of them are very, very different. They're very more complex. There's less save points, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think in a couple of years when my kid has possibly their own phone in their hand, they're going to look at me with this huge machine that they have to plug into a TV set and, switch out games with every single cartridge. I don't think they'll be ecstatic for that. But that's just me.
That's if your TV set even has the right hookups, would be the caveat to that.
That's true.
That could be a bit of a nightmare. I was really I'm pretty happy with how it went down. So got a bunch of, as with selling anything, I got just the most horrific lowball offers you can imagine. Like, oh, hey, I'll give you $50 and half a Snickers. Like, you want? Can we meet? It's like, no. Like, it's like I'm very happy to keep this. You know what I mean? So
Right.
this isn't, you're not catching somebody at their lowest who just needs this money. This is very much like for the good of my sanity and the amount of stuff I have, I am parting ways with a dear friend. The fellow I do sell it to, we commit the transaction, everything's great, very nice guy. We finish it, and I ask him, okay, so look, we're done, like the transaction's finished here, so I'm not going to go back on anything. I'm just really curious. What are you going to do with it?
Okay.
All right, because there was a couple scenarios in my head. What I was really scared about is I gave it at a good price. It's a price I was happy to sell it to. Like, I feel good about it. It was definitely a good deal too. I think it really straddled the line. We were both getting good value, but there's some little part of me that was like, "Are you just gonna flip this? Am I gonna like look on the same boards tomorrow and just see it, new pictures for like double the price?"
Right. Yeah.
That's his prerogative. I mean, he's bought it, so he can do it. But that little bit of me would die inside. It's like, I want somebody who wants this thing. You know, I'm gonna have my kids set it up or whatever. Turns out he's a collector. So he's on a hunt to try to get every N64 game that was ever released in North America.
Wow.
He has a bunch of consoles and he likes to have a couple around. He says like, anything that I don't need, I'll probably put off to my buddies who also do the same thing. They're collectors, but this is really like a collective thing for me. I'm on a hunt to get every single one I can. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay,
good.
That's happy.
That's good. Yeah. See, I thought you were going to. The transaction happened, but I said I'll play Goldeneye, winner takes all.
$20 a shot. Come on, let's do this. $20 a round. I'll play you for it.
That's right.
He arrives. I said no. He's like, I'll play you for it. And like the game was on. Now, as everyone knows who listens, I'm an awful gamer, so that would be a sucker's bet. I would have lost so poorly. It did get me thinking though too, as in related news, I guess it's bargain bin time, spring cleaning. I also sold my PS4.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now here's the logic behind that. Like, roll with me here.
Okay.
Right now I could get an okay price for it. Again, I sold it for a price where I was like, this is good. This is a good value for you. Everybody goes away happy. The PS5 is out. It right now there's problems getting them, but that's going to ramp up. It's going to be fine. Try to imagine selling your PS4. I mean, as we're recording, this PS5 has been out now for 6 months. Has it been that long?
Around there, yeah. November.
New-ish, but it's been around for a little bit. The previous gen, PS4, imagine trying to sell that 4 months from now, 6 months from now, next year, right? Like, it's just going to continue to lose value. And from my perspective, I am going to eventually buy a PS5, when they launch the PS5B or something, the next version,
slim.
the next version that's a little smaller, the price is a little less.
Yeah.
And given that was the case, and I have my Xbox, it was like, you know what, this is a good time to put a pin in it, make a bit of money, like get a bit of the investment back, and just kind of wait it out till I can get the PS5. Did I is that a dad sin? How did I play that? Was that a gaming dad sin?
I don't know. It might be. I mean, you're talking about...
No support. No support. Just throw me right under the bus.
That's it. I don't know. You talk about, getting rid of an N64 that you've kept on for 20 years. I don't know if a PS4 is going to be worth that in 20 years, but I don't think it will be. I think you did make the right decision. It just feels fresh. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Somehow, the PS4 still seems like it's not new, but it's relevant. I think it's because you got your new next-gen system. To go back to the old gen, so to speak, or that's what it is, it's a little bit harder. I think everything is at your fingertips right now. You got Game Pass. Everything's like fast loading. Get your kids in and out of games that they want. It makes sense to get rid of the PS4 just as you're going to carry it around again. And like you said, the value might dip before it gets better in 10, 20 years where you might not even care about it anymore, or it might be broken. Who knows? PS4 is not really built like an N64. So
yeah, that's an interesting point. Like you and I were trying to discuss that, because there would be, if you can think about the N64, like there was a time when, the next gen of the system, maybe when PS2 came out or whatever it would be. Wait, was PS2 at the same time as N64? Or was that PS1?
PS1 was coming out.
Okay, so let's say PS2 comes out, right?
Yep.
And now it's time. like everyone's kind of moving on to the next console, and you're sitting there with that N64, and are you trying to think about the long game? Like, okay, I will hold on to this for 20 years.
Right.
And hopefully the value skyrockets enough to, if you think about the amount of space it takes up in your home, and you divide your rent by whatever little square footage it takes up in the box, and how much you've paid to store this thing for 20 years of your life just to make back an okay amount of money. Right. So there's when the new console comes out, everything just plummets to earth, right? And now with some of these titles with N64, like Mario, GoldenEye, Mario Kart, you start to see those kind of creep up. It kind of becomes like a collector's item,
right?
So we are in a difficult time of prediction. Where can we say will PS4 ever have that type of resurgence? Like, would PS4 ever, within any reasonable doubt, like actually be worth more than it is now because it becomes retro? Like 20 years on, could you sell a PS4 for a good price?
I think you're trying to justify what you did, but
okay, look, the sins have been committed. Let's move on. We are imperfect beings.
I don't think so. Just because of the digital ecosystem that we kind of live in now, it's a little bit different, I think, for collectors to think about that long term, where if you did have all the old cases and all the old discs along with your PS4, maybe we're talking some value, but nothing like, again, that thing could fall off the shelf one day and snap. The N64 could fall down a flight of stairs and be fine. It could probably just pick you up. But so I don't.
You could lift your car to change the transmission fluid with your N64s and still go back inside and play it. I'll mention that. I mean, after we had done when we agreed to do the transaction, I tested every game. Like, I wanted to just make sure. I had not fired it up in ages. Yeah. It's like, I'm selling this to this guy. I'm not even sure any of this works.
Oh no. Okay.
So one by one, I'm testing it, and I'm playing with, and I tried all the controllers, and everything worked flawlessly.
That's amazing, actually.
And you're just thinking, it's like, how? It is 20 plus years old, and this thing is working like day one.
Right. And you would never be able to do that with a PS4 because every game you pop in would need an update that it wouldn't be able to get. So
oh my goodness, that's right.
So I don't think it's the same. I think you made the right decision. I don't think the PS4 will go up in that amount of value of what the N64 is now. Definitely not. I think there's too many units out there. You're fine.
We do our best here not to fall into the retro trap or the kind of classic dad gaming trap of everything was better in our days, blah, blah,
right.
That type of stuff.
It was, though.
I mean, besides the fact that clearly it was.
Yeah.
But I more think about, it feels different. Like, this transition feels very different. So we were all here for NES to SNES to N64. Couple of hit or misses after that we don't need to get into, but you can see like these big large jumps, right? And I think right up to Switch, because the Switch was really different. Like, that was a vastly different console, right? PS2 to PS3, PS4, those are huge jumps. Now, besides the loading time, the actual games and the way a lot of it plays and interacts, you'd actually be a bit more qualified to speak on this than I would. It certainly feels like an improvement, but it's like getting a better computer. Like, I upgraded my 5-year-old gaming laptop for a current model gaming laptop. I'm still playing all the same games. The operating system is very much the same, but it's just more powerful.
Yeah.
Like, is that accurate? Like, it feels like it's been a different transition this console generation especially, and it sort of might set the precedent going forward.
Yeah, I think you get diminishing returns with each generation now. So the graphics kind of hit this peak. I mean, we could do ray tracing and add bells and whistles to some of it, which is great, and I would love to see those games kind of go forward and again push that boundary. But again, if I'm looking at my kids saying, hey, Minecraft is amazing, and it gives me this sandbox of creativity and just what games mean to dads and kids alike. I think it's a different time, like you said, where it's more about the games now than the system itself. And that kind of goes with Microsoft's philosophy now, where it's about the games on this Game Pass that's available in multiple areas. So it's more about what you can play and how you can kind of work it versus maybe the console itself and the power it can give. That's definitely there, but I don't think it's the same extent as, you know, the N64 when that came out blew my little kid mind. Like, yeah, that was such a difference. Like, to see Mario in this 3D space that he's never been in. And now you don't really get that feeling. VR might be that other one that maybe did blow my socks off, but you know, until that kind of flourishes like the N64 did, I think you're seeing less and less. So
yeah, no, because it is interesting. So again, like I honestly am not doing it just to justify what I've done.
Sure, okay.
I'll say this: my PSVR, which I still have, that I'm not selling. It's probably going to be lent to my brother who still has a PSVR. You might remember fondly how you were the proud recipient of my PSVR for some number of months.
That is true.
So this thing has gotten around, but just not sure where it goes to. I guess one kind of like last thing to discuss to wrap it up would be, in this entire spring cleaning that I'm going through, the one console I did find is a little old Game Boy Advanced SP.
Oh my gosh. Look at that.
The tiny little cube. Now, for those listening, I'm showing it on screen. And it's like a very bulky cell phone, flip phone.
That's right. Great reception.
I have such a adoration for this form factor. Like, it's so, even still, with all the advancements in technology, like the size of it is still remarkable is overstating it. Wonderful. It is a small little unit. You could slip that into a pocket or a bag so easily. The games on it were tons of fun. And what got me thinking about is, like, this one I actually might want to hold on to. Because it is so small. It also represents a form factor of consoles that I adore. But it seemed like it'd be a really great one to give to my kid. So, we're going to do we have to drive up to the grandparents or something like that. It's going to be 2 hours. Hand them like this little cheap old Game Boy, get them started in some Mario game or something like that, get them playing.
Right.
So that seemed like a good angle on it. Now, what games would I give to him? Funny story about these old consoles. It's, like you said, it is a different time. These games are really damn hard.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Like, I was trying to look at some Zelda games, and it's just, I'm reading the amount of text reading he'd have to do. He's in kindergarten, by the way, so he's not literate yet.
Yeah.
Impossible. So where it sent me was on a journey through eBay.
Oh no.
Trying to find games to purchase there that would fit his narrow ability of gaming thus far. Right. Let me tell you something about eBay games. Like, it is, that was a bad play. Buying games on eBay. Not EB games.
Yeah.
Very different thing.
Very close, yeah.
Yeah, but buying games on eBay, it is just a wild west. So the first thing you'll get would be the hyper perfectly maintained, highly sought after games. So here is this rare version of green Pokemon, whatever. Sealed, never opened, like $300.
Yeah.
For a GBA game.
Right. Collectors. Yep.
And then on the opposite scale of that, you have, in this box is 60 games. Most of them don't have labels, so we're not sure what they are. It ships from China. It costs $20, and you'll get it in 6 months.
It's kind of like a gaming dad loot bag. Yeah. Like, you don't know what's in there.
There'd almost be a certain fun to it. It's just,
it would be, yeah.
If anything, like, it's honestly the 6 months of waiting, because you'd arrive there like, oh yeah, this thing, I forgot about it.
Yeah, I can attest to the gaming on eBay from multiple games I've purchased on there over the years, and even if the descriptions are right and it's the game you want and it's at the price you want, sometimes the product arrives and it's not exactly as described, and for you to go and return it is just, it's not possible, especially if it's like a $5-10 game. I got so many games in different languages. There's a Russian game I got for PC that I could at least switch the language in the PC settings once I kind of found screenshots. But yeah, it's just like you said, my kids don't even know that this. I don't even think they know what eBay is, thank God, because if they go on here, they could just run through all the Pokemon games that they want or the Pokemon cards and just see what they all are and what the prices are and beg me for them. But it is a very difficult journey to go on eBay and find what you want and then get it, because then you have some other person or a bot out there that's outbidding you at the last second anyway. So yeah, good luck.
So I ended up getting what was it? I think it's like Pokemon Sapphire for like $20. Now it's too advanced for him. He's not really gonna be able to play that yet. So that was more of a future investment. Okay. But I figured him finally getting into a Pokemon game. He's been sort of around it. He started to watch some of the cartoons. The Pokemon trainer happens to be his favorite character in Smash Brothers.
Oh, that's a good transition then.
Yeah, so so that's all good. So I figure like once he does get it, and I'm actually thinking of using it as a prompt to get him to learn how to read.
Yep.
It's like, why would you learn how to read? It's like, well, if you want to play and discover everything with Pokemon, like you're gonna have to be able to understand what everybody's saying in this game. So let's work on your reading, buddy.
Right.
So I got that. The other one, I'm rolling the dice on it. It's a 32-in-1 cartridge.
What? Wow, that's different.
Now that is being conservative, because there's some that go for like 350 in one.
Oh, okay.
And then there's also, and you can actually find them on Amazon. It's a straight up ripper, I guess you could almost call it. Like it is a blank cartridge that you kind of plant in SD cards that you burn the game into. Yeah. So that felt like a bridge too far. The 360 is like, there is no way that's actually 360 quality games.
No, not at all.
But the 32, I could actually read through the list. I'm like, okay, these are all the ones I would want him to play.
Okay.
And the price wasn't so bad, so I was like, let's roll the dice here. So we're playing ye old eBay game to try to figure out what I can do to get my son playing the SP and having a portable console. As far as like probably about the only retro system now that is still in my house.
Yeah, you got rid of everything else, so that's...
Let's see if there's any kind of startup sound to this thing. I'm not sure that there is. Hey, there we go.
It's very, very Nintendo.
Especially the ka-ping. The thing that's actually in it right now is this... here you go.
Ooh, Final Fantasy, eh?
I love that you picked it up immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a great... So the one that's in it right now is Final Fantasy 1 and 2.
Yep.
So an official, like it's not like one of those multi-cart ones. So this is how I finally defeated Final Fantasy 1.
It's a hard game on there, so
it took a bit.
Yeah, they don't hold your hand. So
and then I've probably started Final Fantasy 2 6 times and never got around to actually beating it. So, but I got it's the last piece of retro tech that exists in my home. Probably going to keep it around, and in many ways it may kind of represent the last bit of retro consoles that have any type of legacy. I think we're kind of past that as we go.
Yeah. Well, hold on to it. It's going to be a wild ride. Let's see. So,
hey, gaming dads, sorry I betrayed your trust on that poll, but
you totally did.
It was more of a gauge of the community. Hey guys, hey fellow gaming dads, what would you do? And you had the right answer.
That's right.
There's no shame in that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But with that, I think we'll wrap it up there for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to get a hold of us, if you'd like to tell me off for selling my N64s, if you have your own story about preserving a retro console or selling a retro console with great regret to a garage sale, we'd love to hear it and read it on air. You can reach out to us on our website, newdadgaming.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at newdadgaming. If you'd like to subscribe to this podcast, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, any of the major podcasting services. And more than anything, we'd really appreciate a like, a comment on any of those systems, or a share as we try to reach out to as many dads as possible. Maybe we can get a retro game swap going around. We got like a mailing chain list where...
Sounds like a good idea, yeah.
Right? It'll be like a gaming dad retro library, so we don't have to hold all this stuff in our own houses. But until we get that set up, and until next week, my name is Trevor. I have only a Game Boy Advance SP left, and I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old who hopefully will play it.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old that may be happy for his birthday. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. You have to update us when that surprise comes about. It would be great to hear his reaction.
Yeah.
But you should do the old dad trick, like, well, it didn't exist anymore, so I got you the Sonic Racers, and then he opens it up. It's like, for some really bad, what would he want? Like Cooking Mama, something like that for DS.
Oh, so he'd actually love that. But if Miyamoto just showed up at the door with it in hand, I think that would help.
That's a fair trade after everything we've been through.
Yeah.
All right. See you next week.
See ya.